Hello boys and girls, and welcome to another video tutorial brought to you by DevTut. This is the third tutorial in the Introduction Animation series. In the last part we set up the camera, the text, the first bit of text and the animation settings. In this part we're going to be animating each of the letters in this bit of text here so it works with our animation we've got here. So just stop that, bring that back to 130. Right. So to do this I'm going to unclick this little box as I'm going to want to move around a bit, and I don't want to take the camera with me because I want my camera settings to stay the same. So we're going to work from left to right. So I'm going to start off with path 1, which is D. First of all, before we do anything, we're going to want to right click on the extrude nerves part and click on make editable. If you want to use the keyboard shortcut, that is C. Click that. So it changes this into a null object inside another null object, and inside the null object and inside the null object inside the null object is each of the extruded paths. Now, because I'm awkward, I'm just going to take those out and get rid of those two useless null objects. And I'm going to rename this exactly what it says, DevTut Presents, just to make things a whole lot easier. Now, for this first letter, I'm going to want it to swoop in from the upper left hand corner. So I'm going to quickly pop into camera view and move back to about frame 100. No, stick on frame 30. That's the best. Right, click onto the coordinates tab, and I'm going to want to edit each of these rotational values so it comes out like that. Oh, wrong way. Just until you get it how you want it. So then I'm also going to move it up to about there. So it's just outside of the thing, so just up here somewhere. Right, but if we did it this way and put the keyframe in there, and then put a keyframe in there, resetting it back, we'd have to go through and reset back all the values. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down these values and also read them out to you. -1 for the first rotation value, -50 for the second rotation value, and 9 for the third rotation value. The X value is 269. I won't bother you with the little decimal n there. Y is 129 and Z is -82. Sorry, X is -269. Right, so I'm going to undo that so it's back to how it was. Go on to frame 130, where that's how it should be, just there. And put a keyframe in for X, Y, Z, and all the rotational values. And now we can move back to frame 0, come out of that camera view and put in the values again. So that was -1, -50, and 9. That was -269, 129, and -82. I'm going to put keyframes on every single one of those, and then we'll move on to the next one. As you can see, as I scroll through here, you can see it moves in. You can also scroll back and see if you're happy with your animation. I'm not quite happy with that actually. I think I should rotate a little bit more. So, what value should we rotate? That one. We're going to set that to 50 as well. So our last rotation value is also plus 50. So as I see here, you can see it comes in. And then we're going to move on to frame 100 and just make it look a little bit more like a swooping and just bring it down there. And put keyframes on every single one of those. So it goes like that. Now if you go back into camera view, play it back, you don't really see much that happens to the D, but as we move further in, it's better that every single one of them are animated, even if you can't really see it, just in case. So we'll move on to E, and I'll tell you what, I'll animate it and I'll pause whilst I'm animating, and then I'll tell you the values after I've done it, okay? And we're back. I've just finished doing all the animating for all the different letters, and as you can see, it looks like they've just sort of exploded from the center point. If we just play the animation from this view and not the cameras, you can see that they just rotate in and bang. Now that is literally just by repeating the steps I did on the D here and just changing the values on frame 0. As you can see here, you just sort of create a sort of general effect. It's not really that important how it is, as we're only going to be doing, as long as how do I sort of explain? Right, okay. To show you, to sort of illustrate what I'm trying to say, as you can see, they're all coming from behind the camera. The sort of centre point here, you can see they're all in front of it. There's one just behind it, but that doesn't really matter. As long as they're all sort of vaguely in front and not way sort of back here, you'll be okay. Just rotate the values. You can also see from here, some of them come down. Just try to sort of variate the location on the 3 axes and the rotational values. So like this one here, I think, yeah, it starts off at like minus 160, so it rotates at least one, does half a rotation before it gets there. Right, so as you can see, I just play that back. So in camera view, here we are. It creates that. I get this feeling that the camera should be 135. I get this feeling that the camera should be closer. So the camera should be here, let's say 100 frame. So it goes faster. Maybe 105. Okay. So what's going to happen here is that from frame 0 to 135, it should do an animation that's going to be 4.5 seconds, and the rest is just going to be sort of read time for the user. So it'll be there, and there'll be like a little bit of read time where it goes in and out. So yeah, right, so that's it, and now we're going to move on to the next part, which is making the material for these. Now, I'm going to do this in the next tutorial, as this is nearly 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes now. Okay, so don't forget to rate, comment, and don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. It's better. To the channel. Visit the channel for more tutorials on Photoshop, Fireworks, Dreamweaver, and the other parts of this series. There's also some DSLR techniques, a brief look at sort of my little setup, and there's also that's it at the moment. There'll be more on there. So yeah, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the very next tutorial. Goodbye.